how to speak in the future tense in French when you're lazy or when you'd like to choose the easiest way, with the near future, which is often what sounds the most natural in French. There are three ways of talking about the future in French. Today, we only see the present tense used for the future and the near future, which are the easiest ways of talking about the future. We'll leave the simple future for another episode. I'm Thomas, I teach French, and if you'd like to practice what we're going to learn today, I'll tell you how at the end of this episode. Now, let's get into it. The easiest way of talking about the future is to use the present tense. But you need to make it obvious that you're talking about the future by adding a time indication, like tomorrow or next week. For instance, tomorrow I'll walk. Using the present tense, demain je marche, from the verb marcher, like to march. So in this case, you just need to know how to conjugate French verbs in the present tense. But you really need a time indication to be clear, and you're good to go. Nobody will ever notice that you're not using the real future tense. That's a good hack. Now, what about the so-called near future? We usually call it the near future, even if it's a bit wrong. I'll tell you why in a second, but how to use the near future. Just with the verb to go, aller, plus the infinitive form, the to form of any verb. So for instance, tomorrow I'll walk using the near future. Demain, je vais marcher. So here, the key is to know how to conjugate the verb to go in French in the present tense. As a quick reminder, to conjugate to go in French, you need to remember the simple word va for almost all pronouns. It's a bit modified with I go, vais, and they go, vont. For the plural you, it sounds like the infinitive aller, but with the Z instead of the R. And for the very formal we go, it's nous allons. You can watch the episode on the verb to go in French if you feel lost. So now a question. How would you say, using the near future, tomorrow she'll walk? Demain, elle va marcher. Tomorrow, they'll walk, when they refers to a group of men. Demain, ils vont marcher. If you'd like to practice the near future with other pronouns, other verbs, and useful French expressions, I'll tell you how in a second. But when should you use the near future? That question is so interesting. So I'll take 1 minute before we finish to show you that on the first level, you can use the near future for the near future. But second, French people actually use the near future almost all the time. And on the third level, there's something to know about the French culture and the French mindset concerning the use of the near future. First, if you're a total beginner, I don't want to overload you. So you can keep in mind that you can use the near future for events that will occur soon, in a near future. That works, you won't make any mistake, you're safe. Now, to go a little bit further, the French near future, aller plus the to form, is much more used in French. The near future is often translated by going to plus the to form in English. Because that's what it looks like with the verb to go. And that's correct. I'm going to walk is je vais marcher. But I'll walk is also je vais marcher. So what's going on? In most cases, when in English you say something like tomorrow I'll walk, the most spontaneous and natural translation for a French would be to say demain je vais marcher. And we can even add a nuance that you don't have to master right away, but it's a good insight on how the French language really works in the real world. The near future can also be used for the far future, like 10 years, hundreds of years, or even billions of years. But you see that the notions of near and far are actually quite subjective. It depends on how you interpret or consider a situation. So actually, you can use the near future depending on the feeling that you want to express. For example, I'll do it tomorrow. To do is faire, a very important French verb. Faire actually relates to a fact in English, but we'll talk about it in another episode. For I'll do it tomorrow, if you say je le ferai demain with the simple future, the real future tense, it seems a bit far compared to je vais le faire demain. It feels closer. We get more the feeling that you're going to do it tomorrow. And je le fais demain with the present tense, it feels even closer. So you can see which idea or feeling people want to express, consciously or unconsciously, just with the tense they choose. And all these ways of saying I'll do it are correct. So again, you can use the near future only for the near future and start noticing when the French use the near future. And just by being aware of that, you can refine your own French. And maybe you can conclude that since the French use the near future really often, they like to feel that things are going to happen soon. But to be able to play with these different ways of talking about the future, you need to practice, to keep them in your memory and to make them available. So I propose you a free bonus video on my website. The link is in description to practice the near future. I see you there.